We'll be upgrading the OMNIBUS F3 to the OMNIBUS F4. I'm go ahead and pay the extra $10 to go from the F3 to F4. Hopefully we'll be able to get a little bit better performance. We'll be able to run 8K, 8K. Well, let's get into it. This is my first time trying to get a close-up video of doing changing out a flight controller. I'm hoping it shows up good on the video. If my head ever gets in the way or anything, I do apologize. I'm hoping that this is going to be a very easy transfer. We'll see how that goes. I think it's almost like working on cars. Nothing ever goes great. The big thing is not to mess up any of these other wires where it's an easy flip in. You can kind of look at it. The flight controllers look the exact same, except, well, there's the F4. You can see on it, it has that bigger processor than the F3. If you can see the F3 board. But you definitely don't have to worry so much about CPU load, at least right now. And you know, the thing is buying things to be future-proof. As fast as this hobby is moving, the technology is always updating. So, updating or evolving, and things are getting better. I don't think there's any way to future-proof it, because just because something's faster doesn't mean it's necessarily better. Really faster at this point in time, because the technology will be different and will require, just like going from multi-shot to D-shot, and every time you turn around you got some kind of new technology out. So I'm going to try. I don't know if this is going to be time lapse or what. I'm not for sure. I am trying not to keep it silent. My problem is moving this and it not and it getting out of the shot. I got a piece of paper down here with some lines in order to hopefully keep it in the shot with it being zoomed in. It's currently around 4:45 in the morning. I need to be able to tune this, and it's supposed to rain. It has got rain on the schedule, so this is normally I'm at the gym this time in the morning. Yeah. Hopefully this is going to be not a bad day. As far as this upgrade because I do have to work today. So just really trying to get this done. This is actually not my quad, so I'm wanting the other person to be able to get flying as soon as possible. Well, I got all of them except for the power wires, and they're ones that's going to worry me a little bit. Not necessarily because they're big, but they're going to be the hardest to get back into place. Let's go ahead and get these nylon screws out of the way right here so I don't melt them and have to put some different ones in there. Because of this tight build, normally I put some big rubber pieces on the top and the bottom, but yeah, putting some lipos on charge there. But if you look right here, I've got that little bitty washer on, or little bitty rubber grommet on the top, so I couldn't get the big ones on it, trying to just dampen the flight controller. That one just has a small grommet on top, and then the normal size on the bottom. Probably should get that one out just to make sure that we don't melt it. There's the grommet on the bottom. You know, just like I've seen in videos. I mean, it may not help, and it may help. Why not just do it and not have to worry about it? So that's usually how I'm doing it, is just trying to soft mount the flight controller, whether I need it or not. Also, trying to soft mount the motors too. I mean, you know, if it flies just that much better for a little effort, might as well do it. Just double checking to make sure everything is still in the shot. Alright, so we've got the buzzer wires here. We don't want to burn them, and when we're trying to do this power wire, that's probably the one thing that scares me. The LEDs in the back are getting 5 volts from the board, so that I'm not going to be able to move that out of my way. A good trick that I have learned on these big power wires is sometimes, because there's so much wire there, it's harder to get the solder to flow. So if you'll just take and just add a little bit more solder to it, sometimes it will make it a little bit easier to pull off without having to heat so much. We're going to find out how true that is right here. So it's already been heated just a hair, not a lot, but now we should. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. Pulled off of it nice and easy. Hope you got that on camera. Yeah, pulled off just these big wires. Sometimes it helps on the little wires, especially the ones from the factory. But since I'm the one that soldered these on, I know it's got a good quality solder on it. But still, on the big ones, just to kind of get the solder flowing through the whole joint. It doesn't always make a difference. It's not always necessary, but you know, I'm all about working smarter, not harder. And if it makes it just a little bit easier to do, why not do it? So right now we've got the 2 main power wires off. We really only have one other wire, and this is exactly the reason why I've wired everything on top and not through the holes, is because it makes it so much easier to get everything off. With it not being through the holes, because if it was through the holes, I would have to pull off the flight controller and put it on the bottom and pull the wire out the other side, and then plus I would need to clean it out if I ever was going to use it. I don't know I guess I'm going to use this flight controller as a test bench because one of the motors don't work, or maybe I might make a tricopter. But that's the only problem. Wish it was that one more I wish I had that the ground wire on top too. It's the one thing that's on the bottom. The one thing about this OMNIBUS Pro is it's got the current sensor on it, so that's why the main power lead has to feed through the motherboard. But the one caveat that some people may or may not know is on the ground wire. Oop. Oh. Now I have to find my grommet because I dropped it on the floor. And got it. Alright. Yeah, these things are they're not expensive, but they're not cheap either. But like I said, they're worth it. Alright. And that flight controller is just hanging on there. One more. Alright, so now I don't know how well you're going to be able to see it. Well, I guess you can see it pretty good, hopefully. There is your ground wire. The ground wire, you don't, you know, all the power and the juice is not necessarily running through your ground wire onto your flight controller. I've got the ground wire from the XT60 straight to the PDB, and then the only thing this ground wire is doing is completing the circuit in order to provide the flight controller with the power that it needs. So I didn't resolder this one because it's not a big wire. Hopefully I don't regret it. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and do it. I'm just going to go ahead and up a little solder on here. I mean, what's the worst can happen? I messed the board up that's already messed up. Alright, there we go. There is your F3 OMNIBUS Pro, and here is your F4. Really, I guess it looks a little bit different, but the biggest difference is the process.